Welcome to the C.L.I.M.B. This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business. Listen, this podcast exists because we want you to win. And what is leverage, you ask? It's a strategic advantage. It's the power to act effectively. And that's exactly why we called it the C.L.I.M.B. If you're a songwriter, if you're an artist, you're going to need leverage. And the C.L.I.M.B stands for C.L.I.M.B, creating leverage in the music business, which is awesome. That's incredible lyricism from my lyrical host and good friend, Mr. Brent Baxter. Brent's an award-winning hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady Antebellum, Joe Nichols, and more. And what I love about Brent is he helps songwriters like you turn pro by revealing how to write like a pro, do business like a pro, and then he takes you right across the finish line and actually connects you with the pros. You can't ask for more than that. You can find Brent at songwritingpro.com. Once again, super easy to get him at songwritingpro.com.
And I'd like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They help you find your sound and they help you grow your audience so you can become the artist that everybody loves so you can get paid. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That's production, singular, and no S, and there is no S because there is no other Johnny D.
What's up, brother?
Hey, man.
How you doing?
It's a good day.
How you doing?
It's a good day to be alive and be climbing.
It is. It's a good day to be climbing.
Every
We got some cool stuff going on with the C.L.I.M.B community. Lots of people in there helping each other out. I just love our C.L.I.M B community. I love the way everybody's taking care of everybody else. Everybody.
Mm-hmm. Everybody.
Taking care of everybody. If you want to join the C.L.I.M B community.
Son says, anybody.
Anybody. If you haven't joined the C.L.I.M B community, please do so. Go to Facebook, search for the C.L.I.M B community, ask to be let in. We will let everybody in. And if you are bad boys and girls, we will roadhouse you.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
Because we're always nice until it's time to not be nice.
Right.
And then we roadhouse you. But
we'll turn your angel eyes your way until you throw beer bottles at Jeff Healy, then we will roadhouse you right out of the...
That is right. Because Jeff Healy's our friend. And hey, share this content if you like it. If you like what we're doing here at the C.L.I.M B, I'm sure that your bandmates, the artist friends, your industry friends would all, could get some value out of this as well. Leave a rating and review so it makes us look legit and we'll make you famous. Leave it on. Let us know what you think. Give us a 5-star review. We're always appreciative, and we read every single one on the air. That makes us look legit to people who aren't aware of us yet. They want to stick their toe in the water and see if it's really something cool. And your referral, your testimonial is going to do the trick. And then finally, subscribe. Subscribe so it automatically comes into your podcast player every Tuesday and now every Friday with our little pull-out pieces here. And there you go. So what are we going to get into today, Mr. Brent?
Well, now at the time of this recording, the Winter Olympics are on. So they're getting the coverage and all that stuff's going on, dun, 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 or whatever the theme song is, and all that stuff's going on. And so I was like, I want to be timely. Of course, by the time this airs, you're listening, it's already over. Spoiler alert, you can tell us who all won. But I was just thinking about that going, how does this relate to music business, to songwriting, to artists and stuff? I was like, there are a lot of parallels between being world-class athletes and being world-class musicians, singers, songwriters, artists, all that stuff. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to kind of dive into some of those stories and kind of pull out some gold and platinum for you.
There you go. All right.
You ready to dive into it?
Let's do it.
All right. So yes. So at this point, the Winter Olympics have just ended, but I want to talk about how songwriters have more in common with Olympic athletes than you think. No, it's not just our youth and six-pack abs. Not just that. It's not just our endorsement deals and Wheatie box appearances, and the fame and the fortune that goes with being a songwriter.
and if you're an Olympic swimmer, all the weed smoking.
All that, yes. All that as well. So, what do you as a songwriter have in common with these Olympians? And what lessons can we learn from them? That's what I want to talk about today. So I want to start with the most obvious. Most, if not all, the athletes at this year's games are the best of the best from their respective countries. Like none of these athletes are duds. Like they're all sick. They're all really good. So Likewise, pro songwriters are the best of the best from all over the world. Like Max Martin, like he wasn't born in Hoboken. You know, Ed Sheeran, he ain't from Des Moines.
Des Moines.
He is, you know, and sure, like country songwriters are more U.S. based, but we have our share of foreigners, you know, Canadians and Australians, even New York City, all kinds of foreigners.
New York City.
Exactly. So bottom line, the best of the best from all over the world are competing for cuts. This is a global game, so you better buckle up and bring your best. That's the first thing, is like, it's not just your little hometown you're competing against. It's not even just Nashville. It's worldwide, you know, especially depending on what genre you're in. But even country, it's worldwide competition.
Yeah.
Because if there's money to be made, people are going to try and make it. And people love country all over the world.
There's plenty of Brits here on Music Row all the time. And I can think of there's a couple of big hit songwriters right off the bat, British.
Yeah, I can think of at least one South African.
Yep.
You know, that's here writing songs and having success, and you know, Canadians and Australians and Brits and all over the place. So yeah, it's a global game. So the best of the best are competing. That's your competition. It's not just your small pond. It's even from across the pond, if you know what I mean. So that's the big thing. So, but I also want to look at some of this year's Olympians and their stories. Take quick little stories and see what we can learn. Let me just give this disclaimer. This is according to online sources, so I hope it's right. But even if some of the details are wrong, because you can't trust the internet, the spirit of it is still truthful. All right.
That's right.
All right.
Don't bust his chops on the details.
Exactly. So email Johnny at Daredevil Production. If you
No, I don't want to hear about it.
All right. Here comes my little girl. Hold on one second. Let me mute this. Oh, she got back out. Mommy got her. I'm going to wave her away. All right. I love you, Ruby Jean. Go away. All right. So here's the deal.
The door.
All right. Crisis averted. We got my little girl out of my office.
There you go.
She got to look at Johnny on the screen and go, what's going on there?
She's like, look at him. He's incredibly handsome. Like,
hey.
He's got a dimple.
Hey.
Listen, I'm just telling you. I can't blame her.
I will smack you. All right. So anyway. Anyway, so we're going to talk about some of the Olympians and some little nuggets of their stories and how this relates to you. So let's go ahead and dive on in. So Kelly Clark is someone I want to talk about. She's a 34-year-old snowboarder, U.S. women's team. She won a bronze in one of the previous Olympics. And this year she's competing against, and at this point, spoiler alert, she got beat by an athlete that she mentors, C.L.I.M.B. So you've probably seen her all over the news. She's the 17-year-old snowboarder, phenom that, had the real emotional run and afterwards and everything, been tweeting all that good stuff. So they train together. Chloe is half of Kelly's age. They're close friends as well as competitors. And I think there's a lesson here is that iron sharpens iron. Your friends, your songwriting crew will make you better and they will drive you and maybe beat you to some cuts. But you'll still be a better writer. And in the long term, you're going to win. Like Kelly is better for the friendship with Chloe than she would be without. Because having that good of a teammate, someone you train with to push you and make you better. Likewise, Chloe is better for having someone generous like Kelly who's been there, who's medaled before. Instead of trying to squash her, let's be the best team we can be for Team USA. Let's compete, make each other better, and we're both going to be better snowboarders because of it. And I think that has a lot of parallels to songwriting. I mean, yes,
oh my gosh, my artistry.
Yeah, my co-writers are, in a sense, my competition when they write songs that aren't with me. Mm-hmm. But they're also my training partners, and we go into business together on certain songs, and we make each other better. And you just have to be generous that way. I'm not trying to squash my co-writers. I want them to go have success, even if it's hits that aren't with me, that don't have my name on them. It's still better for the team. Just like Team USA is better that these people train together. Team Baxter is better when my co-writers have success because that shines more of a spotlight on our stack of stuff. But in the meantime, I'm still writing better songs because they push me. Iron sharpens iron, that sort of thing. So
can I interject here for a second? So that carries over into the artist world too. And I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I'm smack dab in the middle of a situation exactly like this. And so here's what I will say. I'm going to keep it very positive. And that is that So I have, it's a very small business, right? And you meet the same people on the way up as you do on the way down.
Yep.
And so you don't want to be looking through your rose-colored glasses as if everybody out there is your competition and needs to be crushed. Mm-hmm. You want them to expand. You want them to grow. You want them to succeed, because and I'll give you a prime positive example here. This new artist we started working with, her name is Ava Page, 13 years old. This girl's incredible. She plays 4 hours down at Broadway 3 times a week. Wow. Picks guitar better than I ever did, and I consider myself a darn guitar player. So, because she's interested in being an artist, she's interested in being a better guitar player. But she's got 2 other friends, pals, that she plays with. Another girl named Taylor Gale, who is an incredible singer as well. She's 13 years old. And this young buck named Landon Wall, who is a country singer that with a lot of buzz on him right now. He's 14 years old. Yeah, and I'm aware of him. Yeah. He's in the Songwriter Pro community, and I think he's in the C.L.I.M.B community as well. And, I believe so. So these 3 kids, they do a show together, okay? And it's community, man. They all know each other for 2.5 years. They have the best time on stage. I'm not sure what's more fun, listening to them sing, which is stellar because they're all incredible, or what happens in between the songs. It's like going to a pro right with a bunch of pro songwriters, and they're all joking and carrying on and digging on each other, and it's funny. It's really entertaining. But here's the thing. Here's my point. They are not in competition with each other. None of them are. They're all friends, right? And statistically, mathematically, this is exactly the way it's going to happen. One of them is going to pop before the other 2. Mm-hmm. Period. They're not all 3 going to rise up and become well known at the same time. One of them is going to pop before the other 2, and that rising tide raises all ships. And then then the one that pops that's maybe going to be introduced to more industry people and have some more relationships, going to share those relationships with the 2 other friends. You know what I mean? Like, they're all going to help each other out. These kids bend over backwards for each other. I love that, and that's what you want. You want to be positive. You don't want to approach everything by being negative and trying to ace people out and being a jerk, because that doesn't work. Amen. Because people that could open the door for you can also close it behind them or close it on your foot. Isn't that the truth? And also like the age thing. I know veteran writers who seek out younger writers to stay current. They're like, I know how to construct verses and choruses, but I'm not as in touch with pop culture, with how people are talking these days, how kids are communicating and talking, the lingo, all that stuff, because, I'm 50 years old and I got a couple kids and I kind of pay attention to what they're doing, or even my kids are older and just that kind of stuff, trying to stay in touch and stay fresh. Sure. And so they seek out writers who don't have the chops maybe that they do, but they know the lingo and they know the language for the market and that kind of thing. So it's a little bit different from the Olympic thing, but it's still relevant. Don't let the age thing fool you. Next one up is Lindsey Vonn. And since the 2010 Olympics, she's an alpine skier. She's made a comeback after several major injuries. So I think she missed the Sochi Olympics 4 years ago due to a knee injury. She's fractured her arm in training crashes. She's had a back injury, a lot of injuries. Brady Tennell, I think is how you pronounce it. He's a 20-year-old U.S. figure skater. He's had years of back injuries, or she has. In 2016, she was finally cleared to skate again, so she's here at these Olympics. Elena Mayers-Taylor, she's a U.S. bobsled member who lost the gold 4 years ago when she accidentally hit the wall during the competition. Basically wrecked a little bit. And the lesson on this, and they're all back for this year's Olympics, lesson on this, you will have to overcome adversity. Yeah. Like for a lot of these athletes, it was injury or costly mistakes. For you, it might be lost cuts. You might be getting dropped from a publishing deal. You might be getting dropped from a record deal that never really took off. It might be artists and co-writers who blow up, then blow you off. You got to deal with it and get back on the ice. Yep. And it's like, I know for me, I've had conversations with co-writing buddies before that, we've each written with artists who have gone on to blow up and can't get back in the, won't get back in the room with us. We can't get back in the room with, they blow up and blow us off. And my buddy is taking it really personally. Yeah. That just sours him on the business and everything. And it sucks. I've had it happen to me. I don't like it either. He's like, I don't know how you put up with that, because this happened to me more than it's happened to him. I'm like, it's just part of it.
you just can't take it personally. You got to keep on trucking. If I let it distract me from my goal and just focus on the injury, the insult, the injury, the mistake, the costly wreck, I'm not going to keep moving forward. I'm not going to get back on the ice. I got to get back on the ice. Otherwise, I'm never going to get the gold or the platinum. So you can't focus on that. They didn't focus on it. They overcame, there had to be fear getting back out there going, okay, that really hurt last time I injured myself.
Ooh, I can't imagine.
Yeah, but I'm going to go do this thing that sends me flying up in the air again.
I'm going to go do that triple axle with a double camel kowtow.
Right, exactly.
Lindy.
Do-si-do.
Yeah.
The do-si-do.
And not bust my ankle in half landing on the ice.
Right,
on my head.
Macarena and you turn yourself about. So they got back out there, and you're going to have to get back out there because you are going to get knocked off your horse. You are going to you are going to land on your butt or on your face. And that's just part of it. And you got to get back up there. These people are doing it. You can do it too. That's just, nobody that is successful today, I'm sure, has made it without being unsuccessful, without crashes, without wrecks, without injury, without, being sidelined for whatever reason. That's not their fault, but it is their responsibility. So I want to talk about some of them also. And I'm sure I'm butchering these names, so forgive me if you're listening. And also, congratulations on being in the Olympics if you're listening.
That's positive.
Yeah. Anyway, there's Mamie Biney. I'm going to go with that. She's an 18-year-old U.S. Speed skater, and she's the first African-American woman to make the U.S. speed skating team. And there's also C.L.I.M.B. She used a GoFundMe page to help finance her ultimate goal of competing on the Nigerian women's bobsled team. And not only did she make the Olympics, but she is Africa's very first women's bobsled team. She's on the very first African
Nigeria
women's bobsled team.
How does that work?
It's like cool runnings, right? Yeah. And so,
wow.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not easy to train for it. So Mamie and C.L.I.M.B. Okay, so first African-American woman to make the U.S. speed skating team, and then a woman that did a GoFundMe and then landed on Africa's very first women's bobsled team. The lesson here is don't expect things just to fall in your lap. These women weren't like chosen. No one came down from the mountaintop and just christened them like, you will be the first. They went out and they made it happen and did something that people, quote unquote, like them had never done before. Yeah. There have been no other African-American women on a U.S. speed skating team. Did that stop her? No. She had to go do something that people in certain ways, like her, had never done before. Mm-hmm. In a certain way, she's a pioneer.
Yep.
And also, Africa's very first women's bobsled team. Nobody in Africa had pulled that off before. She also had to do something that had never been done before. And so just because the people around you haven't done it and doesn't mean you can't do this. Okay. Yeah. So maybe you have to do something that hasn't been done in your circle. Maybe people don't leave your hometown. You're born there. You died there. People just don't leave where we are. People don't go chase their dreams. Maybe you'll be the first person in your family or in your circle of friends to find a dream and to chase it. You got to do it anyway. Even if you haven't seen anyone like you succeed at this stuff before, there's no excuse. Who's heard of a GoFundMe page so I can get to the Olympics?
Go be a bobsledder. Where are you from? Nigeria. Wait, what?
Okay, GoFundMe. Go fund yourself.
So
most people's reactions.
Go fund yourself.
Go fund yourself.
Fund yourself.
I'm going to do the anti-GoFundMe page. No, but, awesome. Which is awesome. She didn't just think of what are the odds, right, of anybody making the Olympics, but of going, yeah, and I don't have the funds, and I want to be on the Nigerian women's bobsled team, which has never, ever happened.
Right.
Did that stop her? No, that's freaking awesome.
I'm going to point something else out here, especially when you're talking about the small town thing. I promise you that you're going to have people that the people that maybe even that you love, they're going to tell you can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Or even if they're too nice to say it, they're going to act like it.
They're going to act like it. Yeah. Because you know what? What you're doing when you start to feel that vitriol, when you start to feel that poison coming at you, when you start to feel that, like when you start to look sideways, like, wait, is something going on here? Like when that thought enters your mind, odds are it probably is. And the reason is because you're doing something that they didn't have the guts to do. And remember that. And so that's when you're talking about being a pioneer, that comes with a whole boatload of haters
and arrows. Pioneers get arrows.
Yeah, that's right. Pioneers get arrows. That's right. So you got to press on with that and know that that there's that it's adversity, right? And so what really sucks when that adversity comes from close to home. It's hard enough dealing with haters you don't know online and on social media and stuff like that. But when they're friends and family, man, that's like.
Yeah, I mean, coaches call those peripheral opponents. You know, like for this Olympian, it's not the I can't remember what coach called it that, but it's not the people you're competing against on the ice. You know, in the case of the Olympics, it's the friends that hold you back, the family that won't support you because they're either through wanting to protect you or just they don't want you to get above your raisin, aren't supporting you or actively trying to sabotage that. Those are peripheral opponents.
Yeah. Not
just the people you're actively competing against to get on the platform and get a gold.
And that's all part of the same game, you know.
It's part of the thing. And so it's just awesome how these people don't let the fact that it hadn't been done before by an African-American or by an African or whatever, you know, just like, no, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the first. You can be the first out of your hometown.
The GoFundMe, like, did a large portion of that pay for, like, ice?
I know, ice makers.
Yeah,
I have no idea. I'm gonna need a food machine.
How does that work?
I do not know, but it's awesome. All right, I got a couple more of these, so I don't want to go too long. But let's see, Michaela Schifrin. Her Olympic journey started about the age of 2, and she became the youngest Olympic slalom gold medalist in history at age 18. And this was at the 2014 Olympics. So,
wow.
Nathan Chen, who's an 18-year-old U.S. figure skater. He's been quoted as saying he knew he'd be in the Olympics when he was just 10 years old. He said, you know, I do remember saying that as a little kid. And it was centered on the fact that I'd be age eligible in 2018. And I think what we can learn from them is you have to put in the time. Like maybe you didn't start songwriting as a kid, and that's fine. I didn't really start songwriting until I was like 18 or something. But don't think just because somebody is on the medal platform at age 18 that they just started. Yeah, you're like this. Michaela started age 2, has been on the ice. You know, Nathan, who you know he remembers at least being 10 years old having that dream. So I'm sure he was skating before that. He was on the ice before that, and so you're talking. These kids have already put in over a decade of work toward that, and so they may look young, but they put in the hours. And so you're going to have to put in the time too. You're going to have to put in the hours. Nobody gets there just going, I picked it up last week.
And again, exactly
on a worldwide best of the best level. They put in there, even though you're like Ava Page. She's 13. Landon Wall, he's young. They're grinders, man. They're putting in the time. All 3 of those kids grinding. They outwork everybody. I'm telling you. Like I'm so excited and blessed to be working with Ava. And it's a joy to be around those other 2 kids because they are grinding, man. They just work like go to their pages. Taylor Gale, Landon Wall, Wall, and Ava Page, Paige. Go check them out. Like you'll see that Ava's doing like probably 3 shows a week. You know, and it's not she can't. She's only 13. She can't do an hour or 90 minutes of material. No. She's 13. She owns it. She does 4 hours. and crushes it, right? And keeps people entertained. And like while people her age, a lot of them are watching TV for 4 hours a day or watching the screen, their phone for 4 hours a day. She's chasing her dream. And that's awesome.
Yeah. Instead of, she's only 13. She doesn't know how to work like a Pro Tools rig or whatever. She's like, okay, John, I got like Pro Logic. Like, how do you want me to export these to you? Like she knows, I'm like, give me WAV files, please. Like, okay, I'll upload them over here. I got to run out, like, all right, you know. When her mom calls and says, I'm giving Ava the day off, she's exhausted. She's not feeling too good. I'm like, God bless her. She's earned it. Like, she worked so hard. So
another lesson there is just because you're young doesn't mean you can't be some of the best in the world.
That's exactly right. That's exactly. She belongs like at Daredevil. She belongs here. Like she's earned it. And, you know, think about like Casey Musgraves, right? When did she come on the scene? Like 4 years ago, 5
Something
years
like
ago?
that, yeah.
So prior to that, she's been in Nashville grinding for 10 years since she was a little girl.
There you
10
go.
years. And then all of a sudden now she comes into your awareness and it feels like it's overnight, but it's not, right? There's a whole lot of road, a whole lot of runway before that plane takes off.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about a couple more here. See, there's Mikhail Kingsbury, Team Canada. He's a freestyle skier. He's won 48 World Cup moguls. I'm not sure what a mogul is, but it sounds good. And holds the record for most career wins in moguls and dual moguls combined.
Those are the bumps down a ski hill that, like,
thank you.
When you look and you see some guy doing moguls. Okay, so I ski. I ski. Like, I love to ski.
Okay.
Never do moguls. Can't. I just look at those guys with the moguls in their knees, and I'm just like, oh, that looks like it hurts.
Okay, so it's something hard. Okay, so he's been competing. He's let's see. So Kingsbury, he's won 48 World Cup moguls and dual moguls combined, according to the Canada's Olympic team's official website. And then there's Noriaki Kasai. I guess he's a Japanese ski jumper. He's the first athlete to compete in 8 Winter Olympics. He's 45 years old, and he's been competing in the Olympics since 1992.
He's from what country?
Japan.
Japan.
Yes. So the lesson here, drive. Your competition lives for this stuff. Like Mikhail Kingsbury, he won 48. He didn't just win one and go like, retired, done. Dude must live for this stuff. Live to be the best. He loves the grind. You don't win 48 of these without loving the grind. You don't compete in Olympics, Winter Olympics every 4 years since 1992, especially in your 40s, to be world class, unless you love the grind and you're putting the time repeatedly. There's something that drives them. They're not just, for them, it's not just about getting one gold or one world championship.
It's not because they want to be famous.
It's not, no, not at all. In certain circles, maybe, but so they want more. They're hungry for more. They're still hungry. And so they want to consistently perform at a high level. So I think one thing to learn is don't let one success steal your passion or your drive. You got to keep on trucking. So meaning, hey, I sold out my hometown coffee shop.
Yep.
I'm going to sit on my butt for another, next week and just soak in the glory. No.
Yeah.
All right, good. Where's the next biggest coffee shop? Or I got a single song contract. I'm just coasting, waiting for that to pop. It's not going to probably. You want more. Oh, I got one cut. Great. I want more. Not to make it an idol. You don't want to do that. That's not good. But these people are driven. Your competition. That's the competition. Ski jump and freestyle skiing. They're driven. They want more.
Yeah.
And are you driven? You're just going to take a lot of drive, especially if you want a consistent long-term career.
Yep.
And so I got one more for you. Now I'll finish up. Sean White. So he's probably the most well-known Team USA snowboarder. He's kind of a household name around here. But in the 2014 games, he tried to double up by competing in both the half pipe and the slope style. But he had to drop out of slope style, and he fell twice in the half pipe final last go around, I guess. So this year he's back, and he's aiming for gold, and I think just doing the half pipe. And I believe he did win the gold.
Yes, he did.
So the lesson with Sean that I pull out of that is you may need to focus your efforts and cut out the non-essential. So he's good at a lot of stuff, right? So before he tried to do the half pipe and the slope style, this year he cut out the slope style, just doing half pipe and really focusing on that. And he got the gold. He might not have if he was splitting his time between two different events. How would that distract? He said, I'm going to get focused. Last go round, I'd try to do 2 events. This time I'm just doing 1. And I'm going to be the best at that. And he is. And like for me, it was, am I going to be a lyricist and a melody writer? Am I going to be a lyricist and something else? And for me, it was, I'm going to focus out exclusively on writing lyrics. And I'm going to let other people be what they're great at. I'm not going to try and compete in 2 events because you know what? I do not have the legs or the voice for melodies, and I don't have the mind for melodies. So I'm going to go all in on my one event, which is writing lyrics. For you, it may be songwriting versus artistry, or songwriting versus being a guitar god versus a singer, or country, rap, pop, whatever it might be for you. I'm not saying we all have to super specialize, but for you, look at it and go, is something a non-essential I can cut out that's detracting from me being great at one thing? Is it better to, hey, I competed in 2 events and didn't medal in either one of them, or going, I competed in one and I got gold?
Mm-hmm.
Figure that out for yourself. What works for you. But that's a lesson that may apply to some people, is cutting out the non-essential, really focusing in on something that you can be the best in the world at. I think is important.
Yeah. And because, like another perspective on that is you were putting more time towards it, right? So some of y'all have like normal things that you do that take up your time, like, softball league or basketball league or this or that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be active and do all this stuff, but I am saying that there are things, if you look at your life, that you can cut out to make more time for to put towards this goal of yours to be a songwriter, to be an artist. And you're going to get the most out of whatever you put the most time into. That's where the results are going to be. And so that focus there, I think, is key for that. And hey, one more final thought here. Did you hear the rest of the news about Shaun White? Because people are going to be talking about that after.
No, I have not, because I don't watch much TV because I'm working. So that's one of those non-essential things I've given up.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, I didn't catch it on TV because I don't even have cable, but I saw it it's actually on Digital Music News. So in 2016, he was evidently accused of sexual assault.
Okay.
And the reason this is relevant is because he won the gold medal. The one that you just talked about in the half pipe. And then immediately afterwards, what happens when you win the gold medal? You go and you do a press conference. And the only freaking thing that those people were talking about wasn't the gold medal, wasn't about how he came back from not winning it 4 years before, his age. Like, he is not young, they want to talk about this, this problem that had been dealt with, with a sexual abuse case that had been quote unquote buried, and they settled out of court. The reason they did that was, Shaun White has millions and millions of dollars in endorsement money. And now those endorsement companies are revisiting everything to see if they want it to work. But just FYI, before you make a judgment, I want to encourage everybody to go to Digital Music News. This is where I read it, and they have the 4 allegations that were put by, first of all, the girl that accused him of sexual abuse was a drummer in his band. Okay, so that's important because the context matters. All right. And the 4 allegations we're not talking like Harvey Weinstein stuff here or anything disgusting. Like, those 4 things, I read it to everybody in my office. I read it to Lexi. And, I said, Lexi, tell me if this is sexual abuse, because the only thing I could see that he was guilty of from the stuff that was pulled from the court documents now, these are not, these are the actual charges. He's guilty of being like 14, what's the word I want to use? He's guilty of being like a 14-year-old emotional band guy. Like, every single one of those things I've done in a band with my guys. You know what I mean? Like, the jokes, the language, the stuff we chose to watch. These are the kinds of things where she, quote unquote, felt uncomfortable. And I'll tell you what, like, nobody knows for sure what happened, but it just really, really smells like this girl was trying to shake him down for cash. And it's going to frost my flakes if I find out that boy did everything that he's done. They settled out of court. She got paid. And then now it's resurfacing. And if he's going to lose his endorsements over that, I hope that with my life, I hope that those endorsement companies look at what was going on, because that to me was a joke. It was a joke. And I'm talking about like the court. This is not hearsay. They said, here's what we pulled out of the court documents. And it's like stuff that I would say to my buddy, I would say to you, you know what I mean? And we would laugh about it. And she was in the band, you know what I mean? Like,
I think, I haven't heard about it, so I can't comment on anything specifics on that. But one thing I can say is, with stuff coming out, there's some people that make stuff up, and there are some people that are going to accuse people of stuff that really happened. And it's horrible stuff, by the way. Like, that's most of the stuff I heard, Weinstein, all that stuff, this is tragic. It's And so one thing, don't be doing that stuff. Yeah. You can't control if somebody makes something up and accuses you. That's just beyond your control. But, for one thing, don't do that stuff just to be a decent human being.
Right.
And the other thing is, man, people are taking that more and more seriously, which is good because people don't need to be acting that way, but it can cost you a career, especially in something like this where your career is based on people liking you and wanting to show up and shell over money to hear you sing.
And for the record, I mean, I can tell you honestly, and this is in danger of rubbing people the wrong way, but every single thing he was accused of, I'm guilty of doing in my bands when I was a kid.
You just had an all-male band. So.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's no like physical touching or anything. Nothing like that he was accused of. It was like, you have to read the exact charges, but it was ridiculous. I just this is ridiculous. Like every band guy's going to go to jail. Like if that's sexual harassment,
right,
in a band,
then the lesson learned is don't hire any females for your band.
Well, and that's I think would be the knee-jerk reaction. Like, honest to God, if I was a guy in a band right now with a girl, I'd be looking over like, holy crap, what's going to happen? Because, guys, this is supposed to be his greatest moment ever. The press conference on how he came back, it rose from the ashes like the mystical phoenix to win the gold again and be the best of the best in his thing. And they want to talk about something that happened 2 years ago that was settled. Mm-hmm. Because that's the way the press goes. And think about that in terms of adversity when, we talked about that in the podcast before, like Howard Stern finally gets to NBC, right? That's the New York NBC, the huge, the highest that he could go at the time because XM radio, satellite radio didn't exist at that time. And they hate him and they're trying to ruin him. Like when you get the trophy and then you turn around and get punched right in the face in the same motion. Right. What's happening? This stuff happens. So anyway, I thought I did want to address that because people are going to be having opinions about that. Please look up what he was accused of and make your own decision. But I'll tell you what, I guess I'm lucky I never
had a female bandmate.
Yeah, man. Because that's just like what boys do. That's just some stupid stuff we do. And it's funny, it's I don't know what to say, but.
Well, before we get any more off the ice here, the other thing about these athletes is they aren't going it alone. Every one of them has coaches.
Yep.
They have the best coaching they can get. They invest in their dreams. Not only do they invest years, blood, sweat, and tears, all that stuff, and time, and they also get the best coaches they can.
They get the best money. Yeah.
If you're ready to invest in your dreams, I have a good opportunity for you. I have what's coming up is every Monday in April, I'm hosting an exclusive series of live online workshops online. So you can join from anywhere in the world. It's called the C4 Experience. And this 5-week event, I'm going to reveal how to give artists what they need, give radio what it wants, and give fans what they like. It's about writing market smart songs. I'm only accepting 10 songwriters into this class because it's highly interactive, and I want to spend focused time with each writer over the course of it's like 2 hours a night, 5 nights over 5 weeks, so 10 hours together. There'll be homework outside of it. There's a lot of value in this. So like I said, it's only 10 songwriters. I only host this twice a year, so a total of 20 writers for the whole year, so you don't want to miss out. So if you want to get all the details, what you do is you either keep an eye on the email list if you're already on the Songwriting Pro Insiders email list. If not, go to giftfrombrent.com, giftfrombrent.com. You can download my free ebook, How to Think Like a Pro Songwriter. A lot of value in that, but it also puts you on the Insiders list, and you can get all the details. I'll be emailing out about it, so you can get one of those 10 spots. If you don't want to wait for that, you can also go to songwritingpro.com/store and reserve your spots today. That's songwritingpro.com/store and get your spot for the C4 Experience. Basically, we're going to help you write market smart songs so your songs are just stronger and you can make that great first impression and you can make some hay in the business and hopefully get some not just gold, but some platinum out of it.
There you go. Platinum. That's the best metal. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of another killer C.L.I.M.B episode. If you liked it, share it with your compadres in the industry. If it's helping you, it'll help them. Join the C.L.I.M.B community on Facebook if you haven't already. Make sure that you subscribe and download then the downloads come automatically every Tuesday and now every Friday with our little pull-up pieces of song title challenge and a new little surprise we got coming for you. And finally, leave a rating and review. It makes us look legit. And that's what we want. We want other people to know how this is helping, and we'll make you famous. We'll read it on the air. So once again, this podcast exists because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.